Felisa. So today is another story time. I thought about something earlier today. My godmother actually texted me this morning. It's Mother's Day. And I was talking back and forth with her, and it just reminded me of a time when I was completely traumatized. So I'm going to tell y'all about this story. So that the title makes sense. Anyway, so my mother-in-law, my aunt, my godmother, who is one of my mom's very best friends. They've been good friends since the mid-60s. They met working at a hospital in Detroit, the old Detroit General Hospital, and it's no longer there. It's kind of morphed into something else. But they met there, and they quickly became really good friends. And, a couple of things about my godmother. My godmother was like a gypsy, and I don't mean that derogatory, so please, but like she was just not afraid of, she didn't like it somewhere, she would pick up and move just out the blue, and my mother wouldn't hear from her for a couple of years. Next thing you know, she would get a phone call. Thank God we didn't change our phone number, but she would get a phone call like, I'm in so-and-so, or I'm here, I'm there. Like, I recall her living in D.C., in Miami, in Valdosta, and I'm at some place in Georgia, I think. She finally wound up coming back here, and she lives probably about 45 minutes to an hour away from us, so I'm really excited about being able to go to see her, and I was so happy to hear from her this morning, but it reminded me of this particular story. And my grandmother used to always say, that girl got spunk. She would just be, like, she did not care. She would say she had 3 children, and she would just make it work. Like, she would like, I'm sick of this place, and I'm going. So she has always been, like, one of those feisty, plucky kind of women. So anyway, so she up and moved to Miami. And so my mother got in touch with her, and they were talking, and some kind of way an invitation to come down and spend some time with her was extended, and my mother was like, bet, let's go. So we get down to Miami. I don't know what Miami has done. I don't know what Florida has done, period, to deserve the type of heat that they have down there, but I want to just tell you that it's ungodly. Like, the level of heat in this place is ridiculous. And so we're down there, and I remember being a kid, and I thought, like, the air sat on top of your skin. Like, I literally felt like it was pieces of just the humidity was ridiculous. I'm like, oh my God, like, I had to have showered at least 4 or 5 times a day. And AC was my best friend. And I was a little kid. I had to have been maybe 9 or 10 years old. And showers and baths to a kid that age, like, that ain't happening. But it was the only way to really cool off. And so now that I'm thinking about it, this story time has like 2 parts of trauma. Anyway, so the first part, my mom and my godmother decided to take all of us kids to the beach. Well, maybe this has 3 parts. Anyway, so she took us all to the beach. And so my god sister and I, April, were playing, in the beach, on the beach and in the water and, all kinds of stuff. And, we come out, and I did not know that when you play in salt water, or when you are, immersed in salt water, it's a good idea for you to bathe really well after you get out the salt water. Baby, I got out this water, my skin, I air dried, and my skin, I turned into one big ash ball. It looked like I had been rolling around in flour, and I was so itchy and burning. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. I just did not, and I kept going back into the water to get it off with my dumb self, not realizing that I'm putting more salt. It was just crazy. So eventually someone with more sense than I had was like, you really need to shower off and, use soap liberally and get that stuff off. So that was the first trauma. I don't think that I have been akin that, like, I don't like the beach. I really don't. I don't go. I think probably because I have the residual. On that same visit, we decided, my god sister and I decided that we were going to sit underneath this tree. So we sit underneath the tree and put our blanket on top of a red ant hill. So all these ants, when I tell you that they was coming for us, y'all, I was like, what are those? Because remember, I'm from the north, like from the Midwest. I don't know what that is. And I mean, that, when I tell you that people were running and like spraying us with water and blah, 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 honey, by the time that was all said and done with, I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Like, y'all water and y'all insects down here are on something completely different. I'm straight with all of this. So we get back to the house. Now this is where the real trauma comes in. So we get back to the house, and it was hot as heck in that house. And it was like a little bungalow, for lack of a better description. Now remember, I was like 9. So the house, I can't really recall all the details except for I know that when you walked into the front of the house, there was, the front door, and then there was like this little, almost like a tram window, this little window, and that's what the AC sat in. So they had one unit in this whole house, and there was no air getting to the back of the house. Like, so you had to walk all the way through to get to the kitchen, if I recall correctly. And then like the bedrooms were off of the living room. So my god sister's bedroom was like right on the other side of the living room. So we go in, we get ready for bed, we're taking our showers. I've, kind of washed off the trauma of the salt water and the fire ants and get ready to get in the bed. And she had a trundle bed. So she's, fixing up her bed. And so she pulls the trundle out. In the corner of my eye, I see something dark in the corner. Well, I'm not going to figure out what that is. So I get this grand plan. I was like, sis, why don't we go and sleep in the living room? It's hot in here anyway. We're not getting any air. The windows were open, but I mean, honestly, it may as well have been like sleeping in an oven. It was so hot in there. And so I was like, let's just, take our blankets and go sleep on the floor and, just have a slumber party. She was like, oh, okay, cool. So she followed behind me, and I'm thinking I had this great plan because I don't want to sleep with whatever that was that just darted down in the corner. So we spread our blankets and our sheets, pillows or whatever, and, turn the AC up, and it was the best sleep of my life till the morning. My mother comes, she wakes us up, she's like, come on girls, get up, get in the bathroom, shower. So we get up and get up, whatever. I proceed to take my blankets up to put them back in the room. There was a sea of cockroaches that had crawled underneath us in the night. When I tell you, now I'm starting to itch, because when I tell you I screamed bloody murder, because first of all, I was not ready. Second of all, what is this? Like, what in the world? I couldn't believe that we slept on top of this, number one. Number two, I couldn't believe that we didn't feel this. It was so disgusting. Oh my God. And they scattered everywhere. Do you not know that these people had the nerve to tell me that those were palmetto bugs? I don't know what that is. I don't know what a palmetto bug is, because where I come from, that is a roach. And these doggone things had the nerve. Some of them took off, like it flew, actually flew. Like, what are they doing? I was like, what in the world is going on in here? I was so ready to go. I was so ready. I was like, this state is on something else. This is something out of some kind of horror movie. I swear to goodness, to this day, I still have a phobia about roaches. Not that, I'm sure that I'm in good company. Most people don't appreciate roaches. But when I tell you, it took me years, fast forward, many, many years later. I don't even know when this movie came out, but I remember it was somebody's apartment. What was the name of that doggone movie? Somebody's apartment, and this fool had roaches galore. But these were like roaches that could talk and sing and do all kinds of disgusting things. Well, I wasn't prepared. And I was sitting in the theater, and the previews were on. And so I'm sitting there, talking, whatever. This Joe's apartment, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's Joe's apartment. Okay, so this trailer comes on and these roaches are on the screen. Now they're huge to me because of course I'm sitting in the audience and this is on oh God, I'm itching, on camera. I mean on the screen. Honey, when I tell you that I stood up and screamed and ran off the theater, my friends thought, what is wrong with her? Of course I was embarrassed later, but it was such a visceral reaction. Like, I was not ready for that. I really, really wasn't. And I would shut my eyes if I saw roaches or something on TV or in a commercial. Oh my God, I just couldn't take it. And it got so bad until my kids would want, Mom, shut your eyes. I'd be like, okay, tell me when it's over. Because I just could not. I really could not. I've gotten better. As I've gotten older, like, I literally have to talk myself through it because it produces so much anxiety for me. But yeah, that is an extra trauma that is just disgusting. And I don't even understand what that even means or what that even, no, I can't do it. I really can't do it. So all y'all, people that are in the South that deal with that, the palmetto bug, God bless y'all. I hope that y'all are able to keep your homes and your establishments bug free. Yeah, I'm straight on that. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. And there was one time when my ex-husband and I were coming back from Orlando, and thankfully I didn't see any bugs. I was so concerned about that until we got to the gas station. We were on our way. We had driven, and so we were leaving Florida, so we must have been like in Jax or something like that, maybe Valdosta, getting ready to go into Georgia, and we stopped at the gas station, and my ex-husband was like, okay, I'm gonna go in and pay, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'll pump it. That man came back, was like, I thought you were gonna pump the gas. I was like, it's a roach on the pump. I can't do it. The roach won. Me and the roach had a conversation. I told the roach that he could have the pump, so he was like, girl. I was like, nope. No, because it might touch me and I can't do it. So he was like, I can't believe you do all the fussing out there with the roach. I can't. I'm not going to be able to do that one. I'm just not. So yeah, it's definitely a trauma kind of thing, and I prefer to live my life roach and palmetto bug free because I can't do it. Every time that bug or whatever that is going to win. Tell me about your times of trauma that, okay, please don't say anything that is like really and truly traumatic, but things where you may have picked up a phobia that you can look back on that, is kind of comical, but that was the time that you became definitely afraid of whatever, mayonnaise, shoes, whatever. I love to read your stories. Give me your feedback if you have any. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch y'all later on. Thank you. Bye.